This is Danny Trejo, and right now you're listening to Traumatic Cinematic. And if you don't keep listening, I'll kill you.
Traumatic Cinematic, bitches.
Check us out, dramaticcinematic.com. Greetings and salutations, internet goers. Welcome back to a long-missed show we like to call This Week. And technically, it's probably been a couple weeks, but that's all right. We had things going on. I am your host, Mugumbo, and with me, like always, is my two trusty cohorts, Mr. Mike Wycliffe and David DeMoss.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, hi, Internet. Yes, it's good to be back.
Hello back to you, Mr. DeMoss. This is what they said to me in my monitor. We conquered one convention so far. We went, we saw, we climbed to its peak, and it did. I'm actually glad that we didn't. Did anybody get the convention crud?
No, we did not.
Thank goodness. I was actually worried about it.
Dave drank enough alcohol to kill any germs within a 10-foot radius of him.
And if he did,
that was half of the plan.
And if he did, the breakfast buffet cleared out the rest. So
you're damn right about that.
This is actually our first.
Bacon is dangerous, children.
This is the first time we've united since the show. So, like, hey, how's it going, guys? Everybody got all their limbs, all their fingers, 10 toes, 10 fingers?
Yes, but Pacific Rim keeps getting all my money.
How many times, Mike?
How many times have you seen it, Mike?
I've seen it twice.
Yes, even if Flava Flav was in it, I would have seen it twice.
But then I also I've been to Toys R Us. I've been to two different Toys R Us's this week looking for the action figures. I haven't bought an action figure for me in a year and a half. I've been to two different Toys R Us's trying to find Digi Danger this week.
For all you normal people in out there listening in Radio Land, for a year and a half for Mike, that's saying something.
So
considering, I had almost all of the DC action figures, almost all the Marvel Legends, yeah.
Is it better than Sharknado?
I don't know if it's better than Sharknado. Well, yes, it's better than Sharknado. However,
yes, it's far better.
Sharknado was such a huge hit on Twitter. They have already announced a sequel, and then they were kind of having a contest to see who could come up with the best name for it. I still say I have the best name for it.
Which is?
Sharknado 2, E-Electric Boogaloo.
E-Electric Blue. Oh, my goodness. Where, like, people are getting slapped with electric eels, and it's, like, shocking them, and their fillings are sizzling, and their watches and rings are boiling, and their cell phones blow up.
Hasselhoff gets electrocuted in a pool.
3 times. Like, throughout the movie. Like, the first 2 don't get him, but then, like 15 electric eels, like, get him all
Yes, and
once.
he grows more decayed and
a little more dead.
Freaky, like Frankenstein from Death Race, or like the indestructible man, like Lon Chaney.
E-Electric Boogaloo, folks. Tweet at Sci-Fi Movies. Tell them you want that to be the title.
I think it's a great idea. Electric
That'd be
Boogaloo.
so awesome if we.
I'm down for that. I'm down for that. We're getting behind this 100%. We're gonna have T-shirts made up. Just email Mike for a T-shirt. He'll send them out. Just send them.
And it's funny you mentioned that. My best friend just told me that I should get a copy of Sharknado today.
Well, you know what? I went to Best Buy. I didn't see one anywhere. Instead, I bought a cell phone instead.
It'll be a while before it comes out on DVD.
I gave up my unlimited data. I didn't feel like paying $800 for a Galaxy S4. I gave up my unlimited data finally, because what good is unlimited data if you can't freaking use it, right?
Well, that's one way to look at it. But does anyone even have a subscription to the Siffy channel anymore?
It's not a subscription; it's basic cable.
Yeah, it's basic cable. Yes, and yes,
I mean
do.
That's what I mean. Does anyone even have?
And they have some great movies. A lot of.
Okay, that's one. I was honestly curious, Mike, because
they actually, one of the things coming out of San Diego Comic-Con, which is going on right now, is that Sci-Fi announced today that they are planning heavily towards more scripted shows and more scripted sci-fi and a lot more of the heavy stuff. Last I heard, they had like 6 different spaceship shows that had gone to pilot for this season alone.
Spaceship shows?
Yes, like Star Trek kind of spaceship shows.
On the.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
And I did
like Eureka.
I say if they're going to change the title of the channel, they should just call it the Speculative Fiction Channel. So
speculative fiction. I really like the
SS,
Eureka.
right?
I liked
It's punchy,
Warehouse
it's
13. They did good. They've done some good original like series.
Eureka was excellent. Warehouse 13 is excellent.
Yep.
Stargate was excellent.
I've also heard good things about Defiance.
Defiance apparently is phenomenally good. I guess it started off kind of rough and then just got better and better. And there's a video game that ties into it that is apparently pretty decent. It's one of those things that I keep wanting to get to, but I've been trying to actually sit down and watch all the movies I own, which I've just finished doing, just in time to get more movies. So, because the Criterion half-off sale is going on right now.
Ooh.
And, yeah.
I know where I'm going.
What
Barnes & Noble's half-off Criterion sale.
What's the big deal there? What's the big savings? What's the thing to get?
Well, it depends. I actually got a coupon in my email this week that gave me 15% off, an extra 15% off any one item in the store. So I went to Barnes & Noble and I bought the $70 Samurai Trilogy Blu-ray for $31.89 after tax.
Ooh. So you got a 50% off plus.
50% off and then an extra 15% off.
Nice.
So basically, yeah, it was basically $30.
You should have bought two.
What?
Should have bought two, in case you were the first one out.
Well, except that you don't get that extra 15% on the second one.
One coupon per customer, right? That's why you set up like chains of friends in the parking lot.
Something like that, yeah.
To help you.
But also, even though it wasn't supposed to come out till the 30th, Criterion announced earlier this week that they're going to have Guillermo del Toro's first big movie, The Devil's Backbone, which is coming out from Criterion on the 30th. They're going to have it next Tuesday, the 23rd.
Did he do Mama?
No, he produced Mama.
He
put up the money for it and got it.
I watched that. I rented that out of the Red Box.
He did the same for Drag Me to Hell.
It was actually pretty good. I actually liked.
I've heard good things about it. I haven't had a chance to see it yet.
It's really well done.
But no, his first movie, The Devil's Backbone, which is still excellent, and
not his first movie, not his first big movie. We all forget about Mimic, but I exist to not.
No, this
let
was
you
before
forget.
Mimic.
Devil's Backbone was 2001, yo. Are you thinking of Kronos? Because I'm thinking of Kronos.
Devil's Backbone was the first one he did, as far as I'm aware. Mimic was his first U.S. movie. This one's in Spanish, and there's no Ron Perlman.
Yeah, he got it. He did it in reaction to Mimic because Mimic taught him what not to do, or rather what to avoid, like the plague. Because he did Kronos in '93, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, who is this guy? We got to get him into the system. We got to plug him into the Matrix. We got to make him safe." And so they put him on what basically was like an Alien ripoff with human cockroaches.
I've seen Mimic. I own a copy of Mimic.
There's problems with Mimic. But then he did Devil's Backbone because he just needed to decompress, and from the power of that, he came back triumphant to do Blade 2 and Hellboy and Pan's Labyrinth, and that's like the best.
Well, I'll be damned. I had it backwards. I thought this was the first one.
No,
I don't know why. I know why. Because his short Geometria is on the Devil's Backbone DVD.
Bingo.
That's what screwed me up.
Yeah, bingo. That's right. And I think they put Donna Lupe on Kronos, right?
That sounds right.
I want to say that they did.
Not the point. Point is, Barnes & Noble's having it out a week earlier, so guess what? It counts in the sale.
Totally.
So where it's normally a $40 Blu-ray, you'll be able to get it for $20.
Something I thought was interesting.
My mother's birthday present right there.
And you know what? Happy birthday, Dave.
Oh, hey, thanks.
Happy
I got
birthday.
Pacific Rim for my birthday, so I'm fine.
Well, congratulations.
Robot rock.
Good for you.
Yes.
Something I saw that was cool that you sent the link to, Mike, and I had seen it on Facebook. Somebody else had posted about it. Frankenstein's Army
Yes, that's actually, we talked about it with Jeff at Days of the Dead.
Yes,
He's going to have it at Hatchet Fest.
Yes, and how can I mean, there's got to be Nazis in there, right?
Well,
It's
yeah.
got to be a Nazi exploitation.
Basically, the Nazis are cutting up the dead and adding blades and various other things, and it looks like a lot of fun, actually.
It has to be a lot of fun.
It looks terrible, but it looks like a lot of fun.
The first Nazi connection to Frankenstein that I've seen since
the last time somebody did a Frankenstein movie?
Frankenstein Conquers the World is what I'm thinking of whenever I go back to this. But I just hope the ragtag band of Russian army officers is a little bit more than your standard ragtag band of army officers.
Have you guys seen Iron Sky?
Not yet. It's in my Netflix queue.
It's on Netflix. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. It is such a sleeper movie. I think we've discussed it before, but it was a Kickstarter kind of fan-funded kind of movie. But wow, speaking of Nazi exploitation, it just really came to mind.
I've been trying to catch up. I finally made it through all of my movies that I own, and except I finally have now made it to my MST3K sets. So I'm trying to get through those because on Tuesday the next MST3K set comes out. So
yay!
So volume 27 out this week.
And they're also doing a riff tracks on Starship Troopers, correct?
Right. That was actually the one they kickstarted. It was supposed to be Twilight, but the guys that own the license for Twilight said, and that's okay, no. So instead, they got Starship
Fun
Troopers.
ruiners.
Yeah. And so this is the first time they've done a big movie. Most of the time when they do one of these things, they get something they can afford, to pay for the rights for.
Right.
But Starship Troopers was one they could afford because of the Kickstarter. And I really fully intend to be there. The problem is it's also the first night of Gen Con.
Yep. And didn't that happen last year as well?
Yes, it did.
Yes, it did.
So that's going to suck. I want to go, but I don't know if it's going to happen.
All these conventions just happen to fall on important dates for me, too. Days of the Dead was on the wife and I's anniversary. Gen Con is my oldest's fourth birthday on the 18th. It's like Horror Hound. I'm sure that's going to be something important too that I don't even realize yet. It's just like, damn, why does that something always? There's never anything good going on normally. Why does it all have to happen at once? Just thought.
Yeah. Well, I mean, speaking of conventions, San Diego Comic-Con's this weekend.
It is, and
there's a lot going on.
Yeah, the internet blows up from San Diego. How many people go to that?
I look forward to wading through the forest.
I know Gen Con has, last year at Gen Con, we had 80,000 people, through the ticker takes or the
that's
tickers.
small potatoes.
What does San Diego do? Is it 80,000 a day?
I think I heard.
Oh, really?
Jesus.
Wow. That's some big stuff, man. That is
nerds in the same place.
That's a lot of people in costumes. A lot of sweaty armpits.
Yeah, there's a person I follow on Twitter. The Twitter name is @YoungMoxie, YEUNG. They make nerd soaps, and they need to go to more conventions.
Oh yeah, to peddle their soaps.
Yes. Because
what would a nerd soap look like, Mike?
It looks like a TARDIS, is what it looks like.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it would look like a TARDIS,
or it looks like a Darth Vader head, or any number of other things.
Okay,
it should look like look like a reproduction of a Paper Street soap
company. Do they break
label.
into plastic surgery places and steal liposuction fat from?
I would imagine probably not.
Okay, because that'd be really cool. Because I definitely want some. I'd love to wash myself with fat people.
Yeah,
well,
they should just
I would imagine she's
fat.
got a whole split personality that teaches her how to make soap and all that too. So,
well, they should just dress all of their salespeople like Ed Norton and in Brad Pitt's Sweet Coat
that could be their convention attire. Yeah,
exactly.
There you go.
Right.
And then on the package you put like 5% human lard.
Yeah, something tells me that might not go over very well.
Well, maybe not.
Just put a little asterisk by it and have some really tiny text on the bottom.
But speaking of conventions and movies, that it's not really connected at all. But I wanted to bring up the fact that we talked to him at the convention, but Tyler Maine's new movie, Compound Fracture, He's touring it around right now. When he talked to us, he said that they're going to bring it back out and around, and they're doing some really awesome stuff on their website. You can enter in to win a whole bunch of stuff, including his screen-worn jumpsuit and a bunch of cool stuff like that.
Cool.
And the movie itself looks pretty nice.
It looks pretty nice.
It's been too long since we've had like a good haunted house movie. I mean,
Compound Fracture the movie.
13 years since What Lies Beneath.
Yeah. Tyler Maine's a hell of a nice guy, and people I think are going to enjoy it. I would like to see us try and see what we can do to make a showing happen here in Indy.
Yeah, I think so too. And hold on for a second. What's that? What is that?
Hey everybody, this is Tyler Main, and you're listening to Traumatic Cinema.
I don't know, what is it?
Oh, it was that. It was just Tyler saying a shout out to us. Just I don't get the opportunity very often to use those things, so I figured.
I didn't hear it. So
that's all right. The world heard it.
But
Fair
no,
enough.
the alternative, like to Compound Fracture, which is like a serious haunted house movie, or at least it looks like it, would be all of these goddamn comedy haunted house movies like Hell Baby, that you also sent us a link to.
Well, let's start. Hell Baby is written by Thomas Lennon and Ben Garant,
who are
also known as Dangle and Junior from Reno 911. They also wrote but they also have written things like Night at the Museum and stuff like that.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
they've written some big budget stuff that's made a bunch of money for other people. But this is them doing a haunted house movie, sort of. It actually looks more like Rosemary's Baby.
And this is the
If
second
it were funny.
But this is like the second comedic haunted house movie we've had this year. Remember back when we got like 2 giant volcano movies a year, or
What was the other one?
or like Volcano and Dante's Peak.
No, I mean, what was the other haunted house movie?
Oh God, that one with the Wayans brother.
This is something. This is different.
A
guys.
haunted house. That's why I couldn't remember.
This is
the
more
title.
like Rosemary's Baby than it is a haunted house movie.
Oh, but they move into what it looks like the Paper Street Soap Company. Sorry to keep coming back to it, but they move into this horrible house, and yes, somebody possesses the pregnant wife, but it's I expect walls bleeding and crying Indians, or we already get 2 priests, and it doesn't look like they kick ass forward.
It's got a great cast. It looks funny. Those guys typically are very funny. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Yeah, I mean, Rob Corddry can do no wrong in my eyes. So,
okay, I hope I'm proven wrong then. Which the same goes for Seventh Son, which I saw in front of Pacific Rim the first time. Did you see that?
the Seventh Son is the dude fighting dragons. It's Jeff Bridges, basically he looks
As
like
the dude.
the dude from Big Lebowski, but he's fighting dragons.
Yeah, that was weird. I've seen the preview for that too, and it was like, what is going on here?
I don't remember where I heard it. It was in a podcast this week, so I apologize if it's a podcast where somebody actually listens to us, because I don't remember what podcast it was. But somebody mentioned that it looks like Jeff Bridges has started taking on movie roles based on the fact that they won't make him shave his beard.
Well, hey, good for him.
I like that.
I wouldn't want to shave my beard.
It's good work if you can get it, yeah.
Yeah. Keeping the beard. You're not going to make Burt Reynolds shave his mustache off for nothing, are you?
But by the same token, it comes out in January, so I am immediately my spider sense immediately goes off.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not going to be any good.
January 14th. That means it's probably done now, and they're afraid of releasing it into.
Right, they're letting it marinate. They're letting it sit there. They're going to screen it.
Well, no, they're gonna release it into the wasteland that is January.
Yeah, when it's
January
not
is where you dump a movie that you don't expect to make any money.
when it won't have to compete against like Kick-Ass 2 or Wolvie and Pals 5.
The best promotion that Kick-Ass 2 could ever have hoped for.
Jim Carrey.
Was Jim Carrey saying, "I don't think I like the amount of violence in this movie anymore." That guy is crazy like a fox.
Yeah,
made the mask.
nobody
He's
cares.
also
about his
possibly
opinion.
just crazy, but that's another story.
Oh, the man who made the mask is uncomfortable with the level of cartoony violence, a cartoonish excess of violence.
Yeah.
How,
Well, apparently he was fine until some school shootings happened, but you know.
he's one of
well.
those, is he? How droll. I wonder what parent-teacher organization he's trying to get in good with.
Anyway.
All right. We are literally beating this horse to death.
Yeah.
I do want to ask about one of the one trailer that I sent a thing we haven't talked about yet. Computer chess. Dave, when we talked about this right before we started, you sounded like you had something to say.
Oh, gods. The film critic Eileen Jones warned me about this months ago, and I didn't want to listen. But I know this director. I've read his name more than I've heard it. Bujowski? This guy, Mr. Funny Haha. And,
Right.
what Mutual Attraction was his other movie that he made. Oh, God. His movies are repulsive examinations of the horrifying underbelly of modern American youth. Lots of white hetero 20-somethings from middle-class backgrounds just leading these vague lives like they're interesting, which they aren't. And, oh, God, they're soul-crushing films. And she warned me. She tried to warn all of us that these directors were coming. The John Dies at, the Jeff Who Lives at Home people. They're the same breed. They're called mumblecore directors.
What?
That's the subgenre of indie movie in which they work in. Basically, bored-looking.
Like they're going to try to make a Napoleon Dynamite without any humor.
These movies make Napoleon Dynamite look like Citizen fucking Kane. I swear to God, at least Napoleon did stuff. At least his friends were interesting. These movies, they're all about these young, vague, homely-looking people sitting around going like, what? Huh? And, The one good thing about them is that after you see them, you want to feel alive. You need to
the
do
only person
something.
who I've ever heard mumblecore associated with is Mark Duplass.
He's one of them too.
But I've never heard anybody else in that because I don't really pay attention to that kind of shit.
For good reason. But people who read glossy magazines do, and so it's coming, brother. It's already in the pipe.
Well,
And
but see, I hadn't heard of this movie until earlier today, actually, when somebody I follow on Twitter mentioned they were going to try and see it this weekend. And I was like, I have no idea what that is. But then when I was looking for trailers that had been released this week to send to you guys, I saw it listed, and I watched the trailer. Well, I watched part of the trailer. I actually got distracted. But, but my phone rang. It happens.
True.
But it didn't look that horrible.
Because you have not seen Funny Haha.
All right.
Okay.
All right. This horse is definitely beaten to death. All right. That's it, folks. We are the Traumatic Cinematic Show. Remember, you can find us on Twitter at TC Podcast Crew. You can find Mike at Gray Matter Splat. Find Dave here at AYTIWS. And I'm at Gen X Nerd. Have a great night, folks.
I'm on the internet.